A few things just to say, bro. Um, you know, hi, how you doing? I know this is I make impromptu videos, you know what I'm saying, and this is just another impromptu video. I don't even know what it's titled. I think I have a title. Just gonna speak on a few things. All right, so one of those things that I was gonna speak on is like, fake Christians. Now, let me ask you a question. I know that people, these, these new kids, these new generations, were bamboozled into, supposedly taking a red pill when really they were just blue pilled onto the red side. You know what I mean? So I want to ask a question. What I'm trying to say is that I have now witnessed through the Trump campaign, right? Witnessing this administration, how he won. Um, I have seen how manipulative and easy it is to brainwash people, right? And a lot of people say that the left is brainwashed. No, I mean, like they live in an environment, right, where it's a certain way. Perhaps maybe that can lead them to do to empathize or whatever with gay people and stuff like this, or they live in a violent place, so this is just how they grow up, right? At the very least, they might be. Like, I could say they become products of their environment. I mean, but that is nothing compared to how easily and fast the Republicans are able to fucking red pill or blue pill, whatever, are able to brainwash their constituents. There's nothing because you see, y'all get programmed through TV. You know what I mean? Y'all get programmed through TV and misinformation and social media. Well, TV is now social media. So y'all get bombarded straight from the freaking just like this right here. You know what I mean? And that's completely different. You know what I mean? Cause y'all ain't real motherfuckers. Y'all ain't on the streets like that. You ain't about that life. You know what I mean? So you get programmed within the programming. That's what programming is, right? You get brainwashed from behind your fucking screens, right? How do I know this? Because those country bumpkin motherfuckers that voted for him don't even speak to brown and black people, right? So they're full of misinformation. You know what I'm saying? White people have this thing called white flight, where not all white people, by the way, but there's certain different types of white people, and these people were the ones that cannot they leave the inner cities because that's where they designate them because they want the suburbians. The black people get out the inner cities to the suburbs. They leave the suburbs and go out in the country, etc., etc., etc. I mean, and so this is where they're at, and so I know that because think about how white people at school, they don't want to talk to you, they don't fuck with you, they don't say shit with you, you know what I mean, and so they don't even want to like have a dialogue with you. They're Karens, they get you in trouble, they get call the cops on you and shit, like they don't fuck with you, they don't have a conversation with you, you know what I mean, and so that's why like the Republicans, nobody tells them shit because they don't want to hear shit. You know what I mean? They always come, they're hypocritical every time. Don't. You know what I mean? Like, come and talking shit about the left. You know what I mean? Oh, you guys are look what you're doing. You're such a bunch of little crybabies, liberal tears. Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, and who's the one? And what did they do when they lost? They didn't concede powers. They fucking bitched and moaned for a full year and a half or 2 years, and they try to lead a fucking revolution. They try to lead a motherfucker. They try to overthrow the government. Oh, they stole the election, blah. They're big mad. You know what I'm saying? Those motherfuckers were big mad. And they stomped all over the Constitution and raided the Capitol Hill. It wasn't like they were taking selfies, okay? Don't be brainwashed. Them niggas fucking kicked down the fucking shit and kicked in the door and they, fucking threw fucking tear gas back at the motherfuckers. They had their weapons too. They came prepared with gas masks and everything. They knew what they were doing. I mean, they had gas masks. So that's what they were. They had gas masks. They had their own motherfucking smoke grenades, their own tear gas, their own weapons too. You know what I mean, they came there for some shit to go down. Don't be Don't be misled. Don't be fooled by what niggas that try to downplay. When I say niggas, I mean crackers. I mean, what these crackers try to fucking downplay. Vivek, all these motherfuckers that say that. Don't be fooled, bruh. Because they all try to downplay it. They all try to downplay it. They also downplayed Trump's shit. They brainwashing you basically, pacifying you, etc. Don't be brainwashed. That was a attempted coup d'état. You know what I mean? That was an attempted overthrow of the government. January 6th. That's what it was. Don't be fooled. There's this guy that he said he speaks. He was there. You know what I mean? And he says it was a fucking insurrection. Okay, it wasn't it wasn't a protest. It was an insurrection. Okay, and he was actually there. And so I mean, half of you motherfuckers weren't even there. You know what I mean? There was different types of every movement gets co-opted, right? There's different factions and it all gets co-opted, but don't mistake it. It was a fucking attempted overthrow of the government, right? And it should have never happened in the first place, right? Just because y'all wanted to bitch and moan. You know what I mean? So who's the liberal now? You know what I mean? What about those MAGA tears? Huh? They don't want to talk about MAGA tears, motherfucker. You know what I mean? Comparatively to liberal tears, MAGA tears fucking takes the cake for being the biggest bitches and moaners. You know what I mean? I mean, for real. They ain't nothing compared to liberal fucking tears. Y'all motherfuckers stepped over the Constitution and fucking raided the Capitol Hill, try to fucking usurp power and bitched and moan over a stolen election that was not even true, that y'all had zero proof over. You know what I mean? And y'all try to fucking attack political opponents. Y'all try to fucking overthrow the government. An attempted insurrection and coup d'etat. All the founding fathers, all you motherfuckers, the Constitution itself hates you. I mean, it repels people like you because you're not righteous enough to fucking. You're not righteous enough. And what you're doing. Okay, so anyway, like I said, you're not real Americans. You committed treason. You're traitors. You should be ashamed of yourselves. And you call yourself patriots. As a citizen, right? As a citizen of this nation, right? I fucking frown upon you. Even not just because you're political. On the other side of the politics, it's because you are a traitor. You know what I mean? Like this. I mean, okay. You are just as bad as supposedly what you are just as bad as when people decide not to fucking follow authority like the Blue Lives Matter. It's a contradiction for you to be motherfucking Blue Lives Matter and a MAGA supporter because you fucking think that the government you support the local government or the corrupted police force, right? But then you abhor the government. That's the federal government. You know what I mean? And that's the most stupidest. You hate the FBI, CIA, and the NSA. It's like they're almost investigating you. You know what I mean? Just like Trump why did he fire these motherfuckers? Because he wanted a stooge that was not going to investigate him, right? That's why, because he was being investigated, right? So it's like you're just a bunch of haters. You know what I mean? And you guys are hypocrites and. So I'm asking like the Christians and Catholics, right? That voted for Trump. What the hell is wrong with you? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, this guy is a demon manifested himself even after all the prayers of the world couldn't save this motherfucker. You know what I mean? From being a fucking pervert. You know what I mean? And you guys still choose to eat with him. You know what I mean? And still choose to be, have him at your table. Y'all don't even fucking reprimand his behavior. Which is the worst thing because you guys are acting like he's not a fucking rapist that never learned and that's still acting like a pervert, still trying to deep throat the mic, you know what I mean? Still trying to doing all this other shit that he does when he manifests himself. You know what I mean? That shit is crazy, bro. That shit is absolutely insane. You know what I mean? And you guys call yourself real Christians and so you call your innocence. You can't trade your innocence with his. You know what I mean? You're not. That's judging. That's not judging righteously, right? Like let every man. Just because he's rich doesn't mean he's above the law. Just because he's rich doesn't mean, or just because he claims he wants to help the country doesn't mean he shouldn't face justice. You know what I mean? Just because everybody wants to help the country, right? Not just him, right? Everybody thinks differently. So what makes him special? Because he's rich? I mean, fuck that. You know what I mean? That's not judging righteously because what if he was a poor man, he would be executed for everything he's done. You know what I mean? He would have been shot and killed. He would have been in jail for life. You know what I mean? But because he's Donald Trump, an idol to these fucking heathens and pagans. You know what I mean? A personality, an idol, celebrity. You know what I mean? Then y'all think he's special, like Ronald Reagan. You know what I mean? Y'all think he's special. Y'all let him do what the fuck. I mean, it's some fucking bullshit, cuz. You know what I mean? Y'all going to hell for that one. You know what I mean? And even though you claim to be Christians, and so my thing is that, you know, like I said, you know, first of all, we're all going to hell. You know what I mean? You know, like, you know, you guys are no better than gay people. You know, when it comes to God, God doesn't base. He doesn't even care about appearances. He doesn't care about, you know, what you think or what you say or your little comebacks or how much you know about the. He doesn't even care about how much you know about the Bible. For all you smart addicts out there, you think, oh, hey, you don't even know about this and you don't know that. No, you're not even about that. What does he say? You know what I mean? What does he judge people on? That's not gonna. You know, in the entire Bible is not gonna get you into heaven. I mean, that doesn't matter. I mean, none of this ever mattered. I mean, like you're missing the point, right? The thing that always mattered, the way he said, was what's in here, right? Your heart is what he judges, right? Your heart, and that's what he judges for, not your intelligence, you know, not your bravery, or not, you know what I mean, whatever. You know what I mean? It's your heart. You know what I mean? And it's like whether you show mercy, whether you love people, whether you're selfless, these things, right? Whether you do charity. You're like, I love you, Jesus. Oh, but I don't love those poor people. Get them away from me. Protestants. You know what I mean? You know, like, I love you, Jesus, but those are my slaves. You know what I mean? That I don't want to, you know, let go after 50 years. And I stole them from Africa and brought them, and they don't really owe me anything. They're just like black gold. You know what I mean? Fucking, you know what I mean? And fucking, we're gonna build a nation on top of them, and then treat them like our fucking. Then we're gonna treat them like second-class citizens. I mean, that's what y'all do on stolen land. You know what I mean? Anyway, and then we're gonna condemn them like if we're God, like if, you know what I mean, like, you know, and then, you know, that's what y'all doing. Then we're gonna condemn people, and we're gonna judge them, and then we're gonna fucking scream at them, and we're gonna fucking hate them, and then we're gonna overthrow their government and fucking and have a police force to kill them and fucking oppress them systemically and be racist and shit, and we're gonna be self-righteous and glorious. You know what I mean? Self-glory, self-glorification. You know what I mean? And shit like that. And y'all, you know, and you actually think that God doesn't frown upon it, all that things y'all doing? I mean, y'all actually think that God wants Trump to be instead of facing justice for what he's done, you think he wants him to save America? You know what I mean? This corrupted nation that owes $35 trillion that was built on the back of slaves and still treats people like shit. That not 60 years ago you could buy a Native American for pennies, right? You know what I mean? For a place that has warred and in the name of democracy and freedom has displaced and killed hundreds of thousands in war. You know what I mean? Displaced people, destabilized regions, has stolen, you know, riches and resources, has fucking justified it because of freedom. It has a corrupted whole society from the top to the bottom of this motherfucker. All the institutions are fucking materialistic and science-filled atheism and, you know what I mean, all this shit, hateful fucking rhetoric and racism. I mean, you actually think that God wants this to save that shit? I mean, that's that hit upon a rapist slash fucking possible pedophile and sex trafficker, or at least a sympathizer with them, and who as president, and God has nothing to do with your elections. You guys voted for that motherfucker. You know what I mean? That's a human thing, not a godly thing. You know what I mean? For you to try to bring God down to the level of man, what does it say about God's wisdom? Even on humans' best day, there will never be a match for God for God's worst day. Not even in all our wisdom, right? And you actually think that God has something to do with the election. Just like you think, so you think that God wanted, you know, this guy to be saved, right? Because he dodged the bullet, right? You know, dodged the bullet. I mean, I don't think it was a miracle. You know what I mean? But I want you guys to understand. By the way, if you guys want to do a charity, you know, to Gaza instead of supporting genocide, you know, by if you support Ben Shapiro, you're supporting genocide, you cocksuckers. Anyway, you know what I mean? And if you respect the right and MAGA and all these people, Ben Shapiro and all these people that are all down with them, you supported genocide. You know, I don't want to hear shit about you and try to justify that. Oh, Palestine never existed. You guys, you think that God is not going to judge you? Murder is bad. You know what I mean? Do I got to explain that to you? You know what I mean? And while we're on that subject, right? Before I go into this guy, this guy right here, bro. This is a miracle. You want to see a miracle? I guess this is another saint. You know what I'm saying? Now this guy right there, he just dropped this. Actually, I like this song. This guy dodged not one bullet, he dodged several. You know what I mean? And so, you know what I mean? But I also say this, right? That while we're on Gaza, you know what I mean? Israel is not a nation yet. It's a people, right? And when he said that the people were going to create the kingdom, bro, did you actually think it was like a nation, a powerful nation? I don't think that the people that have been trying to create. I mean, okay. Think about this. The person that created Israel, the nation, was Rothschild. So are you telling me that Rothschild is the one that created this occupation you call Israel? You know what I mean? And it was created by Rothschild. So are you telling me that Rothschild was heaven sent? You know what I mean? That God worked through Rothschild to create the nation that you call Israel now, that occupation. You know what I mean? Or are you just before your time? You know what I mean? And second thing, right? I don't know. You know what I mean? But I do want to say that my understanding of Israel is that it's of a people, and it doesn't mean that every Israelite is. I mean, murder is still wrong. You know what I mean? Genocide and bombing them, Netanyahu, bombing fucking tents full of children. You know what I mean? Is bad. Does that need to be explained? I mean, to Ben Shapiro, you know what I'm saying? Declaring, condemning people. This is good versus evil. Nigga, we're all evil. The only person as good as God. You know what I mean? And guess what? The Palestinian people believe in Allah. That's the same God. You know what I mean? They actually give more credence. They actually have more credence for Jesus than you, Ben Shapiro, because they actually think that Jesus was a prophet. Although they are misguided, maybe. You know what I mean? They have more reverence for Jesus than you do, you cocksucker. You know what I mean? And at the same time, you know what I mean? They still believe in the same God. So you condemning kids and spreading floating that idea of genocide and promoting that, you know what I mean? Fuck you, bitch. See me. You know what I mean? I'll fucking punch you in your shit, motherfucker. You're not a real man. None of you are real men. You know what I mean? All of you guys say this shit, but never even visited that places, never seen the war, never seen the devastation. You're all a bunch of fucking biased influencers that took the guts and the glory. You got the game fucked up in the whole reporting industry. You know what I mean? The whole journalism industry. You got the game fucked up. Y'all a bunch of cuck ass fuck niggas with no guts or glory. You know what I'm saying? So fuck out of here. You know what I mean? You're like a bitch. Always talking shit. You never been there. You know what I mean? So I don't know what the fuck you talking shit for. You know? But I do see you on the internet, and you do get a massive following for some fucking reason, because all these fuckers are easily programmable, like I keep fucking telling you. And war is bad. So you understand that. So your murder is bad. God does not want you to murder people. I mean, doesn't even want you to have murderous instincts. He wants you to have the heart. If you were like Jesus, you see that, but you see those guys, they're not like Jesus. You know what I mean? That's why they don't believe in Jesus. Jesus is a stumbling block for them. I didn't put it there. Jesus himself is the stumbling block for these people. You know what I mean? And Jesus wants you to have a heart. He judges you by your heart, and what your heart said was you condemn them to be bombed and genocided. Fuck you. Bleh. I don't like you. You know what I mean? You disgust me. And that's just why I'm gonna leave it at that. And Israel was a people. It's not just the Israelites. You know what I mean? It's not just the Israelites. Israel is the people of God. You know what I mean? You know, that's the whole term Jewish. It's just like when you're baptized, you get what's the word called? Circumcised in your ears, your nose, your mouth, your eyes, everything, right? And you become circumcised, you become Jewish. You also become Abrahamic. You know what I mean? And so it transcends just as much for the Gentiles and just as much for some infidels that can be converted. I mean, or whatever. It's for all men all around the world. You understand that? And so when that means that I'm not. Why am I gonna war with you? Why do I have to be supportive of a nation, right, that calls themselves Israel when that doesn't have nothing to, I mean, we should always be wary or mindful of Israel. We should always care and support Israel. But why do I have to? Well, how does that relate to bombing Palestinian people, right? Like that doesn't mean that that's right. And I believe that God judges righteously. So if you if you're doing something wrong, like murdering people, right, and because you're because of what they did, I think that God is gonna punish you more over. He's gonna mess you up more over afterwards because of what you've done. You know what I mean? You see, they're held to a higher esteem. That means that they get punished more, right? So I'm trying to tell them, that they should be literally listening to God and not trying to do something to piss off God. So why are you gonna again why are you gonna bomb tents full of children? I mean, that's horrible. That's horrific. You know what I mean? And so I mean, look, and you're saying you're doing it in the name of God. I think God's gonna punish you worse for that. You know what I mean? I think He's gonna punish you and condemn you worse. Págalo. So I'm just trying to tell you. Anyway, this guy dodged more than one bullet. This guy dodged several. This guy dodged several. That new shit. That new shit.
Excelente tiene, yo siempre sigo en la vía, la mina que me detiene. La vida es decisiones, se traen consecuencias. La única diferencia es cómo tú te atiendes. Llamada cuando viene con palos y municiones. Yo lo viví en carne propia, usted tiene ilusiones. En la calle la que la cogía, vendí canciones. Yo resido de mi pana jugándose las misiones. Yo resido de mi vida, que malas desilusiones. Yo vi lo que se cayeron por culpa de las prisiones. Yo vi al diablo conspirando, conozco sus intenciones. Y al final son dos caminos, se me pega la presión. Los cuales yo no sé quiénes fueron los del atentado, bendiciones y se les quiere, que Dios los bendiga hoy. Como niño en la Matrix, las balas las esquivo y sigo vivo. En la discoteca vivo. Yo me libré del tanto, bendiga ese booty violento que me trae control, que se mueve lento, que la noche provea y me colabore, jode, que se escuche mi plegaria cuando ore, que maldita el corazón el booty le bombeza, en la cara se le nota de que está buscando un monte, hasta abajo hasta que le dé calambre. Yo vine para comérmele entonces, yo tengo hambre, voy a esperar que pierde balance, yo acabo de sobrevivir así que no mames romance, a mí no me la contaron, yo la escribo, como niño en la mente y la bala la esquivo y sigo vivo, en la discoteca vivo. Le quito la gorra y le hago papi, soy yo, me van a matar. Hablando claro, me acuerdo que el día, la noche nublada, no había luna y se presentía. Mientras en una tarima yo cantaba, yo sentía como la frialdad de mi cuerpo se apoderaba. Yo sospechaba que la mente me acechaba, que estaba cerca el atentado se tramaba. De repente detonaciones, gritos de un alma prendía. Era el diablo que rugía, el culetazo se prendía, el zumbido de la bala, los cristales, el estallido. Madre que estás en los cielos, no me deja que te río. Mi corazón de pecho sentía que se me salía. Los impactos haciendo canto, las mismas carrocerías. Y lo juro con lo más alto sentía que me moría. El ambiente de repente a polvo ni sangre sonría. No era irme sino a lo que dejaba, lo que dolía. En la discoteca vivo. En la discoteca vivo. La noche larga, la vida corta, sobrevivimos, eso es lo que importa. Si la muerte te anda cazando, dime qué se puede hacer. Acuérdate que va a morir, solo tienes que nacer. Por eso es que te me expreso, salí muy ileso y me quedé preso. Yo la gata me la como después de llenarle el beso. Antes de acostarme hasta por mi enemigo rezo. Loco, deja de caer fuerte. Loco, deja de caer fuerte. Loco. music junkie, ando con yo. Este servidor me dice la monte. Somos pájaros de esto. Oíste.
Yeah, you know. Dios salva también los gangsters, man. Dios salva también los gangsters. God saves gangsters too. You know what I mean? Real talk. You know what I mean? Alright. You know, that's what I gotta say. That's actually, this is underrated, bro. I seriously think that's a good song. And what he's talking about, it's a really good song, man. You know, underrated. It's only been out for a day, but it's still underrated. I mean, but yeah, y'all. Anyway,